What's up, everybody? Mike here, and boy oh boy, is Square Enix in a rough spot lately as far as how they're doing as a company. And honestly, the change in direction as far as what they're trying to do makes a lot of sense because personally, for me, I am kind of tired of them sort of like being stuck to with Sony and their like exclusive deals like that, kind of sort of being like attached to Sony so much. Or even when my friends was like, I'm tired of Square Enix basically being on Sony's leash in a way. So yeah, if you don't know, Final Fantasy maker Square Enix will aggressively pursue a multi-platform strategy after profits tumble. Basically, from a business standpoint, their profits have not been doing very well overall. They launched Final Fantasy 16 last year as an exclusive for 6 months. We're still waiting on the PC release date for that. They had Foam Stars be a console exclusive as well, and they had that be available to PS Plus subscribers, the essential tier to grab. But honestly, that game has fallen off. Like, I tried it out, like, I think once with some friends, and it was okay. Like, if you don't know what Foam Stars is, it's basically Square Enix's version of Splatoon. Like, their version of Splatoon, but I guess not as good because the player base, I believe, is like dropped off heavy. I haven't checked the exact numbers in a while, but yeah, it's just there's just not enough content there, not enough incentive, not enough engagement overall to keep the player base consistent enough or high enough to keep that game going. So that's an issue. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth did launch as well as a 3-month exclusive, and it's that exclusive deals at about the end actually. At the end of this month, I believe on the 29th. So, and hopefully that'll see your PC release and maybe come to Xbox as well. I hope Final Fantasy 16 comes to Xbox as well. I don't see either like Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth or FF16 coming to like Switch. I just don't see how maybe Foam Stars would come to Switch. Maybe. But then again, it's like, why would you do that? Why would you put your, game that's basically like Splatoon on a Switch, a Nintendo platform? I don't know. But yeah. Going off a report by IGN, so reported its financial performance for the financial year ending March 31st, 2024. Sales in the digital entertainment segment, which includes video games, rose by 2.6%, but profit fell by 15.8%. So, once again, I mentioned before, this is despite the sales, the good sales, like, because Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy Rebirth did sell fine. They sold all right. Just not as much as the company hoped. And Square Enix unfortunately saw a operating loss that essentially equals to about 51.9 million, which is very, very that's a large amount. That is significant. That is really bad. So I'm hoping they recover with this new plan. And just to clarify too, when it comes to Final Fantasy 16, when I say it's sold well or fine, I think the last public report we got, and at least that I could find, was that it sold 3 million copies or over 3 million. We don't know yet for a Rebirth because they haven't made that public yet for whatever reason. So I don't know if we'll ever find out about those sales when it comes to Rebirth, but maybe one day. I want to highlight, this part of the article here that I'll showcase to you guys. I'll talk about it. I just want to quote it. So, in response to the tumbling profits, Square Enix announced what it calls Square Enix Reboots and Awakens, a 3-year plan for rebooting for long-term growth. This involves a rethink across all parts of the business, but the highlight is a shift to a multi-platform strategy. Square Enix said it will aggressively pursue a multi-platform strategy that includes Nintendo platforms, PlayStation, Xbox, and PCs. And honestly, they should have been doing this. I felt like, I think the whole exclusivity stuff is stupid overall. Just let people play games where they want to. If they want to play it on PC, let them play it on PC. If they want to play it on console, on PlayStation, Nintendo, or Xbox, let them do it. Now, obviously, those consoles, every platform needs to be able to handle, said game. Of course, you got to be able to handle it. I definitely don't ever see Rebirth being able to be played on a Switch. Maybe the Switch 2 or whatever it ends up being called. Maybe, same with Final Fantasy 16. Maybe the next the sequel to the Switch platform, maybe, depending on what the specs are. But Nintendo kind of lives in its own like bubble, its own world. So like, and they do really well for what they do. So it's like they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be all right. It's just you're not gonna see, unless their next console is like up to par, you're not gonna see these high quality games like that go on PS5 and Xbox Series X and PC on a Switch. Not all, at least. So, and then they go on to also say that as part of this multi-platform push, Square Enix said it will build an environment where more customers can enjoy our titles in regards to major franchises and AAA titles, including catalog titles. The suggestion in all this is mainline Final Fantasy games will ditch PlayStation exclusivity going forward. Thank you! Although Square Enix has yet to announce specifics beyond Final Fantasy 16's upcoming launch on PC. There's also a shift from quantity to quality, Square Enix said. In a bid to deliver ensured fun, Square Enix has been accused of pumping out too many Final Fantasy games in too short a time frame. So perhaps this means the release of major Final Fantasy games will be spaced out a bit more. I don't know about this one though. This one to me, I don't know. I mean, sure. We had Final Fantasy 16 last year in June, right? And then we got Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth in February this year, right? And then about 6 months to 7 months before 16 came out, we had the remastered version of Final Fantasy 7 Crisis Core, right? I don't know. I guess in that regard, maybe that is a little too fast. But in terms of development, though, those were all different teams making those games. And they're all good quality games, in my opinion. They're very good, high quality games, all of them. 16, though, is more of an action game than an action RPG than anything. And I think there was a little disconnect there with some of the audience and some of the gamers when it comes to that game. Because it was super action oriented compared to other Final Fantasy games in terms of the gameplay and stuff. The QTEs, stuff like that. I know in Japan, I think Rebirth wasn't really doing well sales wise. I'm not too sure about over here in the States and other places around the world, but I feel like Rebirth is a very polished overall, like great game, like visuals, presentation, voice acting, music, gameplay, boss fights, etc. It does, suffer some certain tropes in terms of game design. Don't get me wrong, because you got like the side stuff that's like basically like a checklist sort of format of what to do. You kind of always have like a direction where to go and stuff you can do. There's not really like an element of like uncertainty in a way when it comes to actual like gameplay stuff, like what you're supposed to do, because you usually got like an icon or something on the map to tell you where to go, things like that. So it would be nice if maybe for the third game in a remake trilogy that maybe they like have some, not have the entire game be this way, but maybe have some parts of the game be like have some uncertainty. Have be like, hey, if I go here or if I don't go here to a certain area, I might miss something. Not something that's not directly pointed out on the map in the area. You got to actually go and dig and find it, something like that. Other games have done it. Elden Ring, for example, is a great one that does that. If there's missable items you can miss on the first playthrough if you don't explore thoroughly. And even then, you can still miss some stuff sometimes. So, like, it would feel better if that was, like, incorporated a bit more, I think, maybe. And maybe that would engage some players more. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about that. But, yeah. We've already started seeing some of this, though, as far as their strategy to, not stick to Sony as much, because you had that announcement, what was it, last year with the new boss, the new head of Square Enix, right? And Yoshi P with Phil Spencer, where they essentially announced their new relationship with Xbox, right? And then we got Final Fantasy 14 now on Xbox that launched like a month or two ago. And now the Xbox community is part of Final Fantasy 14. And that's like, we've already started seeing this stuff happen. This is already, something else going to be coming anyway. And I'm honestly glad it is happening. They need to go back. They need to stop having these exclusive deals, because honestly, it's hurting them. Timed exclusives to me is stupid, like I said earlier. And honestly, I feel like it hurts the company more than anything. No matter what company you are, I think it hurts you more in the long run. But then again, you do have certain breakout hits, like you had Power World, who technically is sort of exclusive to PC and Xbox right now, and it's on Game Pass, right? But it's like it was a hit. It's released in early access at $30. It wasn't a $70 game. It's a multiplayer online game, you know, survival Pokemon like in a sense. So and like this is honestly what a good amount of fans that are fans of Pokemon or similar games have been craving for a long time. So yeah, that game has sold extremely well. That the devs even admit we were not ready for this success, basically. You know, so you do have certain games like that yeah, they'll sometimes do really well when they certain have the exclusive deals, but and that's an indie game. I think maybe that will often work better for the smaller developers, but I think for the AAA, the like top tier, you know, the more established, more well-known devs like a Square Enix and EA, etc., like those type of companies, I think not need to not have exclusive deals because it's only going to hurt, you know, hurt them in the long run since they're bigger company. They need to make more profit than the smaller companies, I would say, in terms of, you know, how many employees and resources and everything like that they got to pay for and licenses, etc., right? So you got to try to think about from that too, from the business side of stuff they got to pay for. And yeah, like this makes a lot of sense, and I'm happy they're going to do it. I hope that they stick with this. I hope it works out. Square Enix is one of my favorite companies. But I will always give them tough love when they deserve it, just like I do with Capcom. And I don't really have to do it from software, because from software, like, it's like my third favorite development company, gaming company. I don't really ever give them tough love, because from software doesn't really mess up when it comes to, you know, the fan base and consumer. They give you a full polished product, give you a full content filled product. Capcom and Square Enix, they be messing up because of microtransactions and other stuff they do sometimes that's not consumer friendly, whereas from software doesn't do that stuff. So that's why but those three companies are my favorite three companies. So I'm more critical of Capcom and Square Enix because of stuff they do like that. Even and I want them to be successful, don't get me wrong, but there's, like, you know, a right way to go about it and a wrong way, in my opinion. And yeah, I hate microtransactions overall. But oh no, this is, you know, smart. I hope it works out. Let me know your thoughts and comments below about this. What you think? Is this something you're hopeful for? And maybe you think like me that Square Enix should have been doing this and stop having these exclusive deals with Sony, things like that. You know, we got some exciting stuff from Square Enix coming up soon. Here we got the Dawn Trail expansion that's going to be happening in June, a week after Shadow of the Erdtree drops. Kingdom Hearts 4 is still in the works. We have no idea when that's coming. Dragon Quest 12 is still in the works as well. That might come this year, might not. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, sound off in the comments below. Let me hear from you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you're new. My name is Mike. Thanks for watching.